as the title of the workshop is very clear, compete like a champion, skill beyond algorithms. So this simply means that we are having this workshop to discuss what you cannot learn from algorithms. Correct. So as you guys already know, there are various methods across different events. Let's say for 3 by 3, we have the layer by layer method, the beginners method that we call it as, the CFOP method, the RU method, everything is there. And each of the methods also has several algorithms. Let's say OLL, PLL, COLL, one look large layer, though it's not useful, but yeah, still one look large layer, ZBLL, everything. But those are things which you can learn from the given resources. But do you think that actually everything is about algorithms? Yes or no? You can just shake your heads, something like that. No? Or you can write out in the chat. Be interactive in the chat so that I also know that you guys are listening and understanding it. So yeah, a lot of people said no. So that is correct. That everything cannot be learned with the algorithms or with the given resources. Now, this is the entire reason we are having this workshop, so that we can discuss on points which are very helpful for you, but you cannot learn from anywhere in terms of resources. Okay. Moving ahead, meet your coach. That is me. I am Hitesh Kumar Bhuwalka. I am a multi-time national record holder, currently ranked 17th in the world. I have coached 600 plus students across 14 different countries till now, and I have 125 plus official podiums in 24 competitions. Okay, this was my intro. Now, this is the overview of the session. How will it go? The first part that we will focus on is nerves and focus. Second, warm-up systems. Third, round strategy. Fourth, consistency formula. Fifth is a bonus followed by a Q&A that we will have, and I will be answering your questions. Okay. So is everyone ready for the workshop? Show me a virtual and physical thumbs up and type out in the chat. Yes. Okay. Seems like everyone is very excited. So yeah, cool enough. So as you guys are already pumped up for the workshop, so let's start it quickly. The module 0, that is hardware. Now, a lot of people might say skill over hardware, everything. That's fine. Perfectly fine. I agree with that. That all, anyways, even if you get the most expensive cube, that won't get you a sub 10 average automatically, correct? It will always matter about the skill. Yes. But why do we have a point known as hardware? Because it's something like hardware won't get you to the level you want to achieve, but it will be a good way and it will make your work easier. So let's say if you are using a non-magnetic cube, which we get in the market and the local market, whereas if you use a decent magnetic cube, even the RS3 and V5 dual adjustment, there will be huge difference in performance. Huge difference does not mean like 5-6 seconds difference, but even 1 or 2 seconds difference is a huge difference. Considering the top solvers, if you see across the world, the top level championships, all the major championships barely had few milliseconds of difference, and that we have seen in the past. Correct. So this is why hardware is the important part of your solvent. Now, cube selection and customization. Nowadays, the cubes that we have a lot of customization options. Let's say 1,000 customization options with those calculations formulas. But do we actually need so many of them? Practically no. But it is given so that you have something called as a choice for yourself, which you can try out yourself and you can judge yourself. Correct? So this is why we have customization options. Now, cube selection. I strongly suggest that select cubes on the basis of what you have already tried with someone. Let's say you attended a competition or you have some friends nearby. You got to try some new cube and you liked it. That is what I prefer as selection, because that is something that you are 100% sure you will like it. Or else some people who are very close to you in terms of friendship or who have a very similar turning style, you can take their opinions as well. Okay. This way you can get a good cube. Customization completely depends upon you. How you will customize it, what tensioning system you will use, like how strong the magnets will be, how tight or loose the cube will be. These are things will be something that you can choose as per trying out again and again with different tensioning options as well, so that you end up getting at a point where you know this is a cube which is suiting me the best. It might happen someone who has a very similar turning style might not like the cube which you have because of just the tensioning system. Correct? So that is something that we need to avoid and try to get a cube which you are very accustomed with and you like it properly. Should not happen that at competition it is not working well because you're not able to turn it properly. So that is something that you need to fix. Lubrication and maintenance. This is one of the important points. A lot of companies come with factory lubrication, but those are not enough. Those are just to make the cube feel good out of the box. So as you use the cube, initial few days or few sols, it might be feeling to be good, but eventually you might have seen that your cubes don't feel that good. That is because of the lubrication. You can just get a basic lubricant, let's say the Cubeology's Flow, which is a standard lubricant which you can use across multiple puzzles. It's a balanced lube so that you can at least maintain your cube and its smooth feeling. And a backup plan. This is very much necessary because backup plan always refers to something that you don't normally plan for. Let's say you have your main cube as GAN 16, for example. You don't have any second cube which you can rely on. This is a bad strategy. What if in the competition the cube doesn't work properly? Or let's say, what if in the competition the cube fell down and it broke? So that is why you will see a lot of top level solvers, or I will say every top level solvers at least has a backup cube, mostly the same cube which they use as their main, or else a cube which they would prefer as a backup. So that even if the main is not working or if it gets broken or something happens to the main cube, they can always use the backup cube, which will might not give them the best performance, but at least will be closest to their normal performance. Not like asking someone else for their cube and performing like very bad. Correct? So this is the part which you need to focus on. Moving ahead, pre-com. This is something like the strategies which you should use before the competition. That is at home. Let's say tomorrow is your competition. Till today, what should be your strategy? First is practice schedule. Let's say I have a competition in 2.5 months. Now, my practice schedule for this competition should be very clear that I will practice these all events the most, and towards the competition, I will practice the other events which I don't do mostly, but I am participating in the competition. Let's say for me, if I do big cubes more, I will be practicing 2 months properly in big cubes, and towards the competition, let's say 2 weeks before the competition, I will get onto the other events as well, so that I can perform equally good across events and in terms of priority. Practice schedule also includes not practicing before the competition. That is, a lot of people think that tomorrow is my competition, today I will do double the practice. That is practically a wrong strategy because it is making you more tired just before the comp. And very honestly, just practicing one day before the competition, you won't be dropping your averages by 5-10 seconds. Correct? It will be mostly the same. Instead, you will utilize your cubes lubrication and setup more, which might turn out negative for you in the competition, because once you do a lot of sols before the comp, in the competition, the cube might feel dry or the setup might not feel the one which you did because you already did hundreds of sols in that. So that is a bad strategy. Practice up till 2 days before the competition. The day before the comp, try to relax as much as possible. This will help you a lot in terms of gaining back your energy and focusing on the competition properly. Second is sleep. Sleep is a much required factor before every comp. I have seen a lot of cubers who practice till midnight, till 1 or 2 a.m. Before the comp because they have a competition next day. That is a bad strategy. Even if you practice very hard, it will not work in favor of you because you are physically and mentally tired. Coming to my third point, mental and physical rest. Mental rest refers to don't do anything very hectic, which requires a lot of your brain, including practice. Physical rest refers to don't do something which requires your physical energy. Let's say playing some sport for hours and hours, running here and there, unnecessarily wasting your energy. These things are not too big of a factor, but help you maintain your energy level a lot, which you will get to see in your competition. Okay. Now, one small technique that I used to use at least for before my competitions during comp simulation. Now, anyone who doesn't know about competition simulation, just type out in the chat. Okay. So comp simulation basically refers to, let's say you are doing 3x3. So in 3x3, there is an average of 5 format in official competitions. So you prepare yourself as if you are competing in an actual competition. You give yourself those 5 solves with the cube cover and making yourself prepared the same way as you would do in a competition. And in that 5 solves, you will perform exactly the same way as you would do in a competition. So, in a competition, what is the most irritating factor? The noise. Correct? Random people shouting from here and there, shouting out names to call cubers. Correct? These all factors are there. So, how to get accustomed to it? The strategy I used to use was in YouTube, if you search something as crowd noise, there is a huge 1 hour, 2 hour video, which is just noise. Okay, only noise. You can just put on your earphones and listen to that noise while solving so that in your brain, you are getting accustomed to solving in crowd noise and it won't affect your solving very bad. Though, again, this might work for someone very well, might not work for someone, but this is a strategy which I used to use. And this actually made sense if you think of as a competition perspective, especially if you're not a very frequent competitor. If you compete in, let's say, 2-3 months, or let's say bi-yearly, something like that, then it will help you a lot. If you compete almost every week or every 2 weeks, then you should be already accustomed to solving in crowd noise. Okay. So this is something that you guys can try out. Moving ahead to our actual modules. Nerves and focus, our first topic, understanding comp nerves. Okay. Why do nerves hit? Nerves basically hit when you feel or when you make yourself understand that the environment you are solving in is not actually your home or it is of high stake. If you treat it as a competition, that if I don't get good solves, I won't qualify, this will happen, this will not happen, everything like that, you will always get nerves. Okay. So that is something, that is the reason why nerves hit. I won't say you can avoid it completely because even if you don't think so much, your physical body is present in an environment which has nerves by itself. Okay. So you cannot avoid it completely. So this is the reason why nerves actually hit you. Shaking or cold hand issue. Why do we have cold hands? Because firstly, most of the competition venues will have an AC. So you will always be feeling a little bit of a cold. And as you are nervous from inside, it always gives you the feeling of coldness. It never is a hot feeling. Correct? So always your hand will shake like this before your solves. Or let's say if you are in a finals, in a podium scenario, you might podium, you might not podium, you might win, you might not win, or you are on a pace for a good average, you are on a pace for a NR average or something like that. You will always have this issue. So one way to deal with the cold hand issue is carry hand warmers. There are rechargeable hand warmers available as well as one-time use hand warmers, which last for around 4 or 5 hours. You can carry it; those are not too expensive as well. So that before every solve, like as soon as you are telling your judge that you are ready and to lift the cover, you can use the hand warmers to get your hands to a hot temperature. Or else, if you want to make it very cheap, no budget technique, then you can just sit on your hands. That's it. That is a very simple strategy. You can sit on your hand if you don't have the hand warmers. You can keep your hands in the pocket of your hoodie or in your trousers so that you get your hands back to normal temperature and your cube does not feel cold as well. What is the pressure about? Anyone want to say what do you think the pressure is about? Just type out in the chat. What do you guys think in competitions? Why do we feel pressure? Okay, chalk powder is a good strategy for sticky hands, but it might leave some residue on your cube. So I might not prefer that personally, at least. Okay, so Zayan said to win or to get a good solve. Okay, getting good results, breaking our PRs. Cool. Anyone else typing out? Why do we feel pressure? Cool enough. So okay, wait. People are watching, getting a bad salt to get PRs, trying to get good average, getting a good time. People watching you, not to mess up, give out best to make use of registration money. Okay, this is a valid point. Submit barrier, trying to get a good solve. Okay, so pretty much same thing that it is about getting bad solves. Correct? That you don't mess up. And as someone said that as you're paying for the registration fees, so paying and not performing well also gets you affected. That you paid for the fees and you still didn't get to perform well. That is also a valid point. So at the end of the day, it's all about solving. That you get good times. Correct? Everyone agrees with this? Just show me a thumbs up. Virtual, physical, anything. Correct? It's about completely about solving. That you get good results in the competition. That's it. So that is the pressure about. I might have a pressure that I need to break the NR. Someone might have the pressure to break the PR that they have. Someone might have a pressure to get a decent result that make them qualifies to the next round. Someone might have a pressure to qualify for the podium. Someone might have a pressure to win. Someone might have a pressure that a lot of people are watching, so you cannot mess up. Everything of that is included in why do we have a pressure. So this is something that we need to deal with. So let's say, yeah, sub 30 NR in India is also a pressure that you are making barriers for yourself or you are making goals for yourself. And one of the major reasons of pressure is that you set goals for yourself, which you have to achieve. Correct? So this is why the pressure is all about. Now, pre-solve routine. This is something that helps the most as per my experience, that is having a good pre-solve routine. How top cubers prepare before solve. If you see across major championships or the videos of top solvers, like Timon, like Maths, what do you usually see? They don't quickly start off their solve. Correct? They won't take too much of time as well. 1 minute is the limit of WCA that you can take after your judge asks you, are you ready? But let's say 20-30 seconds also if they are taken, that's fine. What do they actually do? They wipe out their hands. Some of them who use hand warmers use their hand warmers. They basically have a good breathing routine that we will come to. Now, visualization, micro breathing, and focus cues. Now, visualization is basically that you are visualizing your upcoming solve, that this is my cube, like this will be my solve, and you are making your brain clear. When we solve, like when we are setting to solve, a lot of things are going into our brain. I need to do this. What if I get a PLL skip? What if I get a NR? What if I get a PR? What if I get very bad time? What if I get DNF? These are things are going in your head, which you have to remove. So firstly, make your brain completely clear with all those things and completely focus on your solve that you will be doing. Not even on the one which you already did, but only on the one which you will be doing. So that seems to be very easy. I just need to clear my brain. But trust me, it will be very hard in the initial stages. And you need to convince yourself that, yeah, you are not thinking about anything else, only the solve that you will be doing. Okay. This is a very important thing that you need to focus on. Your brain should be completely empty and the entire focus should go on your solves. In longer solves, let's say mega mains, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, a lot of people just keep on thinking random stuff while solving. That is the thing that I call as autopilot. A lot of my students know this term, autopilot. That is, you know how to solve, your eyes know what to see, your hands know what to do, but you're not applying your brain, or you're not seeing for the next pieces. You're not doing look ahead. You are just solving because you know how to solve. That is wrong. In a competition specifically, you need to be very focused about the solve that you're doing. Try to find out pieces more. And this is the reason a lot of cubers perform well in competitions as well. It's not like all the cubers perform bad. A lot of people perform well in competitions as well compared to at home, because they are making themselves more focused towards the solve that they are going to do compared to what they are doing at home. Okay. Creating a repeatable pre-solve ritual. This is something that should be going on again and again in every solve. That is, let's say for me, the ritual is simple. I have my handkerchief. When I sit on my chair, like my cube is on the table, I sit on my chair. I wipe up my hands very strongly. I will take 2, 3 deep breaths. I will keep my hand on the table. Then I will take one deep breath again. When my brain is empty and I am relaxed, then I will start my solve. This is something that I do every time, every time, every time. Correct. This is a technique which I have seen that works very well for me, and will be something that you will get habituated with, and also get you good solves. At least your brain and your mentality will be very strong before the solve. Messing up in solves is not something that you can handle every time. You can always reduce it, you can always minimize it, but that is something that you cannot completely make it zero, because messing up might have a lot of reasons, or simply let's say you didn't see a piece properly, or you misrecognize the case. So that is completely fine. Even top level cubers do the same errors as well, not that frequently, but there are errors. Okay. So when you have a repeatable pre-solve ritual, you will always see a difference between trying out random stuff. Like some people would usually have a proper ritual, then when they are having a bad average, they will just sit on the table and quickly start the timer, or they will do certain mischiefs, like let's say uh, taking up till 15 seconds, like whatever, let's say. So those things are not correct. If you break your ritual in every solve, or let's say within 1 or 2 solves, then that will not turn out to be the best for you. Whatever your results are, forget it. Even if you're on the 5th solve, forget what was up till the last solve. That is up till the 4th solve. Whatever you did, forget it. Treat every solve as individual solves and how your mindset should go on. Okay. Reset your brain. Now, how to deal with bad solves? One of the most asked questions that I face. That let's say I started my average, the first solve itself is bad. And this is very common, because you did some other events before the round, as you had different rounds, or this is your first solve of the competition itself, and the first solve is bad. How to deal with it? Because now you don't have any option to, like, let's say, not count the upcoming 4 solves. If you get anything worse than the first solve, it might be even worse. Correct? Now, how to deal with it? Again, as I said previously, don't treat it as a solve which is counting. Treat every solve as an individual solve and with a fresh mind. Though keep in mind that you have a good solve or have a bad solve in your average, so that you don't underperform or overperform in solves. But also make sure you have to deal with the bad solves mentally. Okay. So that is something that you need to focus on very properly. So see, I got a 5 and I got really nervous. I messed up and got a 2.57 average. When I tried the scrambles at home, I got NR2 average. So that is what I mean. This is very much doable at home because you don't have anything to lose. At competitions, your brain always says that what if you get a even worse count and solve. So those things you need to handle. Mentality moving ahead. That is first solve bad, no worries. Second solve was bad, no worries. Whatever solve was bad, no worries. The next solve should be a fresh start and getting back to your roots. Don't try out random stuff in competitions. I've seen a lot of people that if the first solve or second solve is bad or whatever solve is bad, they try to turn faster in competitions. That is a very bad strategy. If you try out different turning style or something like that in competitions, you will most likely get even worse. So that is something that try to avoid. Try to again stick to your ritual even during solves. Have a static way of solving. If I have a turning style which is more slow and more fluid and more like I will turn slow but focus on look ahead, I won't be completely changing it to turn in faster just to get a good time, because it will just turn out to be negative for you rather than turning out to be positive. So don't do that. Forget the last solve. This is partly correct, partly incorrect, because forget the last solve should work upon in a way where you are not taking the last solve as a negative thing in your head. Take it as a positive thing that yeah, you have a normal solve or you have an average solve in your average, so you are on a good track. Or even if you have a bad solve in your average, doesn't matter, you are on a good track. You still have solves remaining. You can always get a PR single, you might never know. You might always get a NR single, you might never know. You can never predict the future, that is for sure. So always try to focus on the upcoming solves and get it sorted as it is. Don't keep the last solve error in your head that I did this, if I would have done this, it would have been better, this and that. Forget it. What has happened has happened. Just focus on the upcoming solves. Okay. Warm-up systems. So why warm-ups matter? Anyone in the chat would like to answer? What do they feel about warm-ups? Yeah. Why do you guys think warm-ups matter? Okay. Helps get in the zone. Okay. One valid point. Gets you in the mindset for a different event. Okay. Makes us ready for the solve. Good. They help us prepare and make our fingers move better. Okay. Fingers get set. Okay. To make you feel like you are ready. Okay. Okay. Good enough. So yeah, all of you already have a good idea about what does warm up do, but a lot of you don't have a warm up system. So the first solve defines your rhythm. That is, the first solve of the average that you are doing, you might get very pumped up or you might get very demotivated after the first solve. It might happen that your first solve was your PR single. If it was with me, I get very pumped up that yeah, now I'm on a good pace. Or even if it is a normal solve, close to my average or similar to my average, I will be always pumped up that yeah, I'm on a good pace, I can make the average better. So first solve should be the solve you focus on properly. Don't treat it as your second, third, fourth, fifth solve, because first solve would be the one which will set you in the zone as well. Because maximum you can have one bad solve. Correct. You cannot have multiple bad solves and still get a good average until you get a very good count in single, which is rare. So try to focus on the first solve so that it builds up rhythm for you, and don't experiment. The difference between lazy warm-ups and purposeful warm-ups. This is very important. Lazy warm-ups means you just sat down, you did something like this of a breathing technique, just for the sake of doing it, and then you start with it. That is vague. Purposeful warm up basically means anything that gives you more relaxation, makes you set into the zone. As people said, that warm up basically sets you in the zone of solving. I get into the zone with some peacefulness. So a lot of people like me also use earmuffs so that I get the noise. Like earmuffs will have noise, but at least it will be lesser. So you feel more peaceful and you can start off with the solve. Correct. Some people don't use earmuffs. I also don't use earmuffs more frequently, but events like BLD and stuff, I need earmuffs for the solving, and as well as some events during the competition, I would feel that it's too much noise. I will use earmuffs. So those things are also there which help you a lot. Optimal warm-up duration and cube selection. Cube selection is again a part of the hardware, which I covered before. That cube selection might not be like always. Let's say you were meaning a cube, and you will just main it in the competition for sure. A lot of people, including me, change their mains in the competitions as well. If we feel that our actual main does not work properly or is not working properly. Correct. Now, someone is asking, is listening to music before every solve a good idea? It depends. If you feel that listening to music will help you calm down and make you relax, why not? A lot of people use it. Hmm. And if you feel that it does not make you a difference, then why to do it? So it completely depends upon you personally what it actually affects your solves. So you can try it out in competitions and try to listen to music before some solves and see where you able to calm down yourself. It's not about good solves or bad solves. It's about internally how do you feel after listening to music, where you calm, where you more peaceful, where you in the zone or not. So that depends upon you. Okay. Optimal warm-up duration basically means that it should not be too short or too long. Okay. Don't take, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes. Like 1 minute is the limit anyways. So don't take so long of a duration for warm-up that it completely breaks your flow from the previous source or from the mindset. But also don't take it too short that it didn't help you at all. Okay. So moving ahead, event-wise warm-up drills. Now, event-wise warm-up drills are an important factor for you to judge as per event to event basis. Let's say for me, a 3x3 warm-up practice, like before, like let's say, especially in terms of when I'm sitting in the same table and my cube is yet to come, and that is a runner system. And sorry, that is a fifth sit-in system. In that, I have a different strategy where I would just grind out some algorithms for 3x3. And that's it. That's what I do. Hmm. That's it. Nothing specific in 3x3 other than this. I will just try out different algorithms on the cube so that I get the flow. I will try out different moves, which will help me get the flow as well. This is what I do for 3x3. For big cubes, I might do, let's say, a solve in my backup or in my practice main. Correct. I will just have a cube scrambled. I will be solving it across the rounds, across the solves. Not like I will complete every solve before the round, because it might happen that my cube comes before I complete the solve. So I cannot be waiting a lot for the cube to start. Correct. So that is something that I would also do. I will have a scrambled big cube. I will just do solves until my cube comes. Even halfway done, that's fine. Because it is just getting me into the zone. Because big cubes is kind of very repetitive in terms of the edges. You are just solving the edges again and again. For centers also kind of repetitive. So those things you can focus on that way. For smaller events, 2x2 pyramids, these and stuff, you can try out some algorithms which you feel are harder for you. You can try out some finger tricks practice, anything like that. It completely depends upon what you feel will be helpful for you. Mostly for smaller events, it's the algorithm practice. For bigger cubes, it's just basic solving or just scrambling a few edges and solving it again. That's it. Nothing as specific per event or something like a rule of thumb kind of a thing. It's not there. It's completely depends upon what you want to use and what you prefer doing. Some people might just not touch their backup main, especially me also. If I don't have a good backup main for a particular event, or let's say I forgot to bring a good one, I would just avoid doing it. Because if you use a very bad cube or a cube which has a very different feel compared to your main, that will also affect your solves by a good margin. Because let's say you are solving on a very stable cube, but for warm up you are doing on a very fast cube. Let's say for 3x3 or 2x2, those events you can always complete 3-4 solves, 5 solves before your actual cube comes from scrambling. So if you do a lot of solves on a cube which is not matching with your actual main, the field does not match, you might be likely to get a bad solve, or you might not get the cube very accustomed to. Okay, so that way you can plan it out differently. But also one thing very important, don't have a cube as your backup or practice main which is completely different to your actual main, because this might turn out to be very negative for you. Rather, I would prefer not having a backup queue or not doing any turns on the backup main or the practice main, compared to doing it and then messing up my actual solves. Okay. So someone has been asking what 3x3 do I use? I use the Apex RS3 V5 right now. So that is what is going good. So Rupam asks, what about clock? So for clock, it's basically like, let's say you can just do solves. Clock is a very short event. So you can just do solves. Or you can just, yeah, practically you can practice out inspection as well. If you are doing a no flip solve, inspection is the most important part. So you can just scramble up your clock, you can inspect it, you can close your eyes and execute it. A lot of combinations are there, which you can decide as per your wish, as per your level on the event, as per your method on the event. Everything matters upon what preference you have, or what is most helpful for you as per you. All right. So moving ahead, round strategy. This is towards the end of the session, so make sure that you guys listen to it. So everyone is enjoying, just give a thumbs up, finding it useful, relating to my points, just give a thumbs up. Cool enough. Good. So round strategy, setting targets, very important. This is one of the most important parts I would feel as a solver. Know your advanced threshold from past comps. This basically means that practically what will be your threshold to advance to the next rounds. What is your threshold to compare to your previous competitions? What is the threshold of other people from their previous competitions as well? But I would say don't focus on the other people more. Try to focus on your results. What should be your goal compared to the last comp? It might happen that you got a very good time in the last comp. So even if you cannot beat it that way, if you feel that you cannot beat it that way, at least try to get a very similar average, or a very or an average which is very close to your current timings. Also, set realistic round one semi-final goals, semis and final goals. This is one of the most important parts. I have a very simple strategy from day one across the first few rounds, except the finals. That in the rounds before the finals, your only target should be qualifying to the next round. Yeah, so as Pranay says, you can look at the side sheet to get an idea about how many people will qualify. Let's say if it says top 12 qualifies for 3x3 finals, you can see as per the side sheet who is 12th, what is their PR average. Though it will mostly be the actual qualifying time mostly will be worse than the side sheet, because everyone has their best averages in the side sheet and everyone won't get a PR in the comp. But that gives you a rough mindset that, yeah, let's say 9.89 is the 12th place. So a sub 10 average should be getting you into the finals. This kind of a mindset is also fine if you care about going to the finals. If you are far ahead, then you don't need to care about. Now, as I was saying, for the initial rounds before the finals, my simple target is to qualify. If I start aiming to, let's say, finish first in the semis, finish first in the round one, and because of that, I get a DNF average, let's say for smaller puzzles, I might mess up very bad. For clock, I might get a DNF average. Those things are worse than qualifying the last. Correct? Because you will be getting around. Your target should be reaching the finals safely. In the finals, you can take a risk because then it's the high stake thing. But in terms of the first few rounds, my strategy normally is just qualify at whatever spot you are getting, because it gives you a good motivation to move further. Also, it won't let others know what your actual capability is. Would you like, let me give you guys two scenarios. Hmm? First scenario where you are first in the round one and you didn't qualify for finals. Second scenario, you were qualifying last in the first two rounds and in the finals you podiumed. What will be the one which you will prefer? Everyone just type out one or two. Two, correct. So this is my simple point. Your target should be reaching the finals, then performing well. Not like performing well and then not reaching the finals, or trying to perform well and not reaching the finals because of the risk that you took. Correct. Now, some people ask that what if there are only one rounds? Then obviously you should perform your best in that one round. And this is a strategy. This is a thing that I have realized with myself also. If I have lesser number of rounds, I am more probable to get a better average compared to having multiple rounds, because when you have multiple rounds in the competition, you give yourself false hope that, oh, never mind, I have more to come, so I can get my average better. Correct. So that mindset goes off. If you have only one round, it's a do or die. Either do it in this round or you don't have any chance. Okay. Use targets to guide risk management. That is, for me, every solve that I do has a simple target, or every average that I do has a simple target. That, let's say for my 3 by 3 round, I would have a simple average, a simple target of getting a sub 9 average. That's it. PR and stuff might come in the way, but considering about a safety risk management, sub 9 is my safety. That I should safety sub 9. For let's say sub 130, sub 125. That way, it helps you build your mindset in a way where you can manage your risk management up till a point that you can bear the risk. I'm not sure how many of you are accustomed to terms related to the stock market, but there is a term called as stop loss. Stop loss basically means that you mark a point below which your shares automatically get sold out so that you don't bear a lot of more loss. Let's say your shares were 100 rupees, you set a stop loss at 80. Your shares, as soon as they touch 80, all are sold out and you will have a loss of 20 rupees. But if you don't set a stop loss, the loss might increase to 50 rupees as well. So same thing with Cuban. Have a stop loss for yourself. That is, have a risk management that up till this point, I am safe. I am happy and satisfied with this average. If not, I have to get at least this average so that I can qualify for the next round, or at least I can podium. That's it. This is what setting targets in every round, every solve means. Okay. Risk management, when to take risk, large solve, finals, tie breaks. This is what I was saying. Tie breaks is something that we don't usually have in cubing, but it might be in terms of, let's say, the head-to-head format, which is coming up soon, as most of you might know. In WCA, we are getting the head-to-head format. So in that, it will be a point system. What if you have a 2 points? The last solve decides the winner. That is a tie break. So this is where risk actually comes into the play. I would take a risk on the last solve in the finals and tie breaks personally, because these are the three parts where it's a high stake thing. It's a do or die. I cannot safety in these aspects. I can safety, but safety should also be like only when I am far ahead of everyone. But that is not the case most of the time. Most of the competitions, you will have people around your average. So you need to be performing your A game. Correct? So that is something that you guys need to focus on. When to stay consistent. Round one, advancing averages. Same thing as I told. In the first few rounds, try to stay consistent so that you guys can qualify for the upcoming rounds. Finals, take the risk because that is a do or die. The mindset of smart aggression. This is very important. Aggression for the solve, like turn in very fast, this, that, should be there in terms of different solves or different point of your average, but should be played very smart. I can take aggression on the last solve. Let's say I have an average which goes like 8, 6, 8, 8. In this point, I can be aggressive in the last solve so that I can count the 6 second solve. Worst case, I already have a 8 second average confirmed. Correct? This is where I can turn a little aggressively. I can push off my limits a little bit more. I can push off my inspection time a little bit more. These things will be something which you will get to know with experience, but also with the hard and try. You can never have a technique which will always work for you or which will work from day one. So try out different techniques, as I mentioned throughout the throughout the plan, throughout the workshop, that these all techniques work and these all you can try. Try out different stuff, and then you can actually see what is working well for you, what is not working well for you. It will never happen only directly in your next comp, but it will take, let's say, 2 3 comps, 4 comps to get you an idea about what is working better for you and what is not. So that way you can get yourself more clear and more better of an idea. Okay. Advancing rounds. Why top cubers don't aim for PB in early rounds? Because PBs give false hope. Because when you focus on PBs, let's say even if you get a PR in the first round or the second round, you will have a hope that you can beat it in the next round. And to beat it in the next round, you will start taking risk and you will mess up. So that is why none of the top keepers focus on PRs or something like that. They focus on a consistent average. Okay. How to build momentum across rounds? Building momentum across rounds is simple. Just have a simple strategy across rounds. As I said, the ritual of pre-solve, warm up, everything should be very static and focus on the solve the same way. Don't change your solving techniques, your turning techniques mid solve or mid average, or else you will most likely be messing up. Okay. Recovery routines between rounds. That is, nutrition refers to food. Don't be too hungry or don't eat too much as well, because that will make you lazy as well or make you tired. If you don't eat at all, it will make you tired as you won't get energy. If you eat too much, it will make you lazy to solve. So your brain will be not working either of the ways. So have a good nutrition throughout the competition. Rest and focus. A lot of people in this meet are kids. I have seen kids running around here and there in the competitions, playing around everything. That's good that you guys are enjoying yourself, but also make sure that you don't physically exert yourself a lot, because that is making you tired, which you are not realizing and is affecting your results. Correct? So these things will help you a lot. Okay. Bonus. Now, before this, we will have a after this, we will have a Q&A session as well. So till here, everyone enjoyed. Correct? Got useful tips. Correct? Useful insights. Correct? Cool. So till here was the workshop part, that how you can manage your competing nerves, everything, how to focus, everything beyond algorithms. The name of the workshop was structured skill beyond algorithms, because here we did not discuss anything related to learning new algorithms or new methods. It was completely everything excluding that. Correct? Now, moving ahead, personalized coaching. This is the bonus because specific drills work as per person to person. It is not same for all, as I said. Today also a lot of my students are competing in different parts and they are doing good. They are having a specific routine that they follow, so they are getting good results as well. Experienced coach guides you how to deal with nerves. This is a very important factor, considering that you are having a coach who has dealt with the nerves part himself or herself. That way it will help you the most. If someone who struggles with nerves themselves try to coach, they will mostly give the tips which are not working for them as well. Faster growth and improvement. Always a coach will always get you faster growth and improvement compared to a normal hit and try method, and will be helpful for you better. So, special offer, you can get a huge discount on my one-on-one coaching. If you guys opt for it by midnight today, limited slots are available. So you guys can DM me on this number and you can start your improvement journey started today.